Understanding legislation is more than just knowledge. It's power. Power to influence. Power to protect. Power to create change. Stay informed. Stay involved. Subscribe. Welcome back to Civic Clarity. This week, Congress focused on several critical issues. One bill making waves is House Bill 7227, the Truth and Healing Commission on Indian Boarding School Policies Act of 2024, a proposal aiming to uncover the painful history of Indian boarding schools and promote healing for native communities. Let's break it down. The proposed bill, HR 7227, seeks to establish the Truth and Healing Commission on Indian boarding school policies in the United States. What's the problem? For decades, Native American children were taken from their families and sent to boarding schools. These schools tried to erase native cultures, forcing children to stop speaking their languages, practicing their traditions, or being connected to their communities. Many kids suffered abuse, and some even died, with their burial sites often forgotten or hidden. The Truth and Healing Commission on Indian Boarding School Policies Act of 2024, HR 7227, is designed to address the historical and ongoing impacts of U.S. policies related to Indian boarding schools. Here's a deeper analysis of the consequences and scope. 1. Systematic investigation. The Commission will perform a comprehensive interdisciplinary investigation into the history, policies, and effects of Indian boarding schools. This includes examining government records, religious institutions, and tribal archives to uncover evidence of abuse, forced assimilation, and the erasure of native cultures. Assessing the social, cultural, emotional, and economic impacts of these policies on survivors, their descendants, and their communities. Consequence: this could result in greater clarity and acknowledgement of the historical injustices suffered by native peoples. 2. Cultural healing and reconciliation. Healing programs. Culturally responsive, trauma-informed care will be made accessible to survivors and affected families during testimonies and commission proceedings. Testimonies: survivors will have opportunities to safely share their experiences in public and private forums, helping document their stories and promoting healing. Consequence: this provides an official platform for survivors to receive acknowledgement of their suffering, which is a critical step in restorative justice. 3. Recommendations for federal reforms. The Commission will suggest ways for the federal government to memorialize and educate the public about Indian boarding schools and their impacts. Adjust federal policies to prevent similar injustices in the future. Promote the preservation of tribal languages, cultures, and traditions eroded by these policies. Consequence: it could lead to changes in federal statutes and funding, supporting tribal sovereignty and cultural revitalization. 4. Addressing burial sites. The Commission is tasked with locating and identifying marked and unmarked burial sites associated with Indian boarding schools, in collaboration with tribal nations and families. It will oversee efforts to preserve and share records about these sites, ensuring proper repatriation and ceremonial respects. Consequence: this may offer closure to families and communities mourning children lost to boarding school policies. 5. Increased public awareness. The Commission will host regional events and make its findings public through initial and final reports. Educational initiatives will aim to increase national awareness of the Indian boarding school system and its consequences. Consequence: this could foster broader public understanding, combating ignorance and promoting reconciliation between native and non-native communities. 6. Legal and structural framework. Federal agencies, including the Departments of the Interior, Health and Human Services, Education, and Defense, will be involved in responding to the Commission's findings. The Commission will also collaborate with tribes, native organizations, and other stakeholders to develop culturally appropriate recommendations and reparative measures. Consequence: this ensures accountability and a structured governmental response to findings. 7. Budgetary implications. The bill authorizes $15 million annually for the Commission's operations. Funding will be redirected from unspent federal allocations originally designated for COVID-19 responses. Consequence: while the bill provides resources for the Commission's work, it may raise concerns over reallocating public health funds. 8. Long-term structural impact, accountability and documentation. The final report will include detailed findings, recommendations, and strategies for acknowledgement and restitution. Focus on education. Suggestions may include incorporating Indian boarding school history into school curricula to prevent erasure. Consequence: the legislation establishes a precedent for addressing historical wrongs through structured truth-seeking and policy reform. So, what is the current status and next steps? The bill, HR 7227, has been introduced in Congress. It has passed committee review and is awaiting further debate and approval. The bill needs to pass in both the House and Senate. It will then require the President's signature to become law. Once approved, the Commission will be established within 180 days. Members will be selected from Native communities and experts. The Commission will start gathering evidence, hearing testimonies, and locating burial sites. It will release a detailed initial report within 4 years. A comprehensive final report will include findings, conclusions, and steps for healing and justice. This report will guide Congress on policy changes and reparative actions. What do you think about the Truth and Healing Commission on Indian Boarding School Policies Act of 2024? Will it bring meaningful healing and justice to Native communities, or do you see challenges in uncovering the truth and implementing change? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Stay informed about the bills shaping our future with our weekly in-depth analysis of key legislation. Subscribe to our channel today. And be sure to explore our other videos covering important legislative updates. To learn more, visit congress.gov to track the progress of HR 7227 and other important legislation. Thanks for watching, and remember, understanding legislation is key to shaping the future. Stay informed, stay involved.